Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a murder case out of Delhi that is just a chilling puzzle. On one side, you have a courtroom confession of a simple mistake, but on the other, you have what police say was a meticulously planned and incredibly brutal crime. So let's look at the evidence and the story it tells.
So this is what 19-year-old Rahul Meena, the central figure in this story, said in court. He confessed, but he called the murder a mistake. Now, we're going to turn to the police investigation to see exactly how this so-called mistake was actually carried out.
So who is Rahul Meena? Well, he used to be a domestic helper for the victim's family. He worked there for 8 months, but got fired for what police are calling financial wrongdoings. And as you're about to see, the intimate knowledge he gained about the family and their home, that became his blueprint for murder.
Okay, let's go to the morning of the crime. According to police, this wasn't some random act of violence. No, this was a planned attack, and it was executed with chilling precision, all because the killer had insider knowledge. Think about it. Police say Meena's time working for the family gave him a huge tactical advantage. He knew the layout of the house like the back of his hand. He knew the parents left for the gym early every single morning. He even knew exactly where they kept a spare key. And most importantly, he knew their daughter, an IIT graduate studying for her civil service exams, would be all alone in the rooftop study.
Police have pieced together just a horrific sequence of events. After getting in quietly, Meena allegedly went straight to the study. The attack was swift and it was brutal. Strangulation with a mobile charging cable, and then a sexual assault while the victim was unconscious. And then, after all that violence, his mindset just switches. He allegedly tried to use her fingerprint to open a biometric locker. When that failed, he just broke it open, stole valuables, changed his clothes, and vanished.
The postmortem report from AIMS Delhi, it reveals the sheer violence of what happened. The cause of death was strangulation, but the report also documented a broken nose and multiple scrapes on her arms, hands, and legs, injuries that forensic experts said were clear signs of resistance. It paints a truly harrowing picture of her struggle.
But what makes this case even more horrifying is the speed of the attack. Using CCTV footage and witness accounts, police put together a timeline that shows this entire crime was committed with terrifying efficiency. This timeline is just shocking. Meena entered the colony at 6:30 a.m., he was inside the house by 6:49, and he was gone by 7:20. That's just over 30 minutes. In that tiny window, he allegedly committed murder, sexual assault, and robbery, and was gone before the victim's parents even got back from the gym. When the victim's parents returned home to that unimaginable scene, the hunt for the killer began immediately. Police started following every clue he left behind, both digital and physical. The investigation zeroed in on a few key leads. They traced the auto rickshaw he used to escape, and that led them to a hotel about 25 kilometers away, where he was arrested. Now the work is continuing to recover the stolen items and to build an airtight case by recreating his entire journey from Alwar all the way to the crime scene in Delhi. And this brings us to a really key aspect of this case. This huge contrast between the accused's demeanor in court, his claim of making a mistake, and how the police describe his character, which tells a very, very different story. And this slide just lays it out so clearly. In court, he says it was a mistake. But in the interrogation room, police are describing a man without remorse, someone with a perverted mindset who just keeps changing his story. It creates this deeply unsettling profile of the accused. But the investigation uncovered something else. The horror of that Wednesday morning in Delhi, well, it turns out it wasn't an isolated event. There was another chapter to this story, one that started hours earlier in a completely different city. That's right. According to police reports from Rajasthan, Rahul Meena had allegedly attacked another woman just hours before he traveled to Delhi to commit murder. So now police in Alwar are investigating a whole separate rape case against Meena, and it paints an even darker picture. The night before the murder in Delhi, he allegedly raped the wife of an acquaintance, someone he played online games with. He'd apparently returned from a wedding to commit the assault and then threatened to kill her if she ever told anyone. So this whole case leaves us with this haunting question. When a man confesses to a mistake after committing such calculated, violent acts, what does accountability really mean? It's a question that pushes us to look beyond a simple confession and to grapple with the deeper, much more complex nature of justice and remorse.